What have I learned in the 3 years that I have been luxury shopping? Hi guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Melissa and I absolutely love handbags. Handbags is something that I have loved for years and years and years, but when my kids were little, I mostly used a diaper bag, so I didn't really get into luxury bags until about 3 years ago, and I've learned quite a bit in the last 3 years. Now, before I jump into this, I do want to give Connor a shout out because this video was inspired by Connor's tag that he has going around. I believe it's luxury mistakes, but I wanted to touch on just not only luxury mistakes, but just a broad range of things that I have learned about myself in the process of luxury shopping. The first one that I want to touch on is something that's still hard for me today. And that is, just because something is on sale, it doesn't mean that you need it in your collection. I had bought a few bags because they were on sale. I saw them on sale. I saw that they were a really good deal, maybe 40% off. I feel like that's my sweet spot. Once I see it's 40% off, I just have to have it. And it's a cute bag and I really, really like it. It's on sale, so I go ahead and I purchase it. Even though it wasn't on my wish list, I haven't done my research, I haven't checked it out in person, I haven't tried it on, and those types of purchases always end up being the bags that I end up selling later on. So learning myself and what works for me, I actually stay away from designer sales now, because if it's a good deal and I think it's cute and I really, really like it, I will purchase it. The second thing is knowing what style of bag works for me. For example, I have up here my Bottega Veneta pouch. I will share a picture if you guys can't see it on screen. And that bag is absolutely stunning. I love it. I use it for date nights, but you guys, it doesn't have a handle and it doesn't have a strap, which really doesn't work out for me and for my lifestyle. It is strictly a clutch. You can put it underneath of your arm, but I am busty and it pushes up against my chest when it is under my arm, or you can carry it as a clutch, which is how I tend to carry it handheld. And I think it's really chic and it's really cool, but you guys know me, I'm not a chic person. I'm a little bit funky, I'm a little bit edgy, I'm a little bit quirky with my style. I don't like what everybody else likes, so it doesn't really work for me in an everyday setting. Now for date nights, I usually dress very feminine, very girly for date nights, and so it does work for that occasion. But on the date night occasion, I go on a date night with my husband maybe once every other month. I know we should do it quite a bit more than that, but we've got 6 kids and we try to prioritize taking our kids out on one-on-one occasions and date nights. So anyways, long-winded answer, knowing what works for you and not wasting money on something that isn't your style, but you still love it. The third one is buying something that everybody else is buying. A prime example of this is everybody says your first bag in your collection should be a neutral, black, or white. And most people will tell you it should be black. Well, if you are looking at my collection behind me, you can see that black really doesn't work out for me. When it comes to me and my personal style, I really dress in cool tones. I like a pop of color. My outfits are pretty simple usually, so I like my bag to really shine, and buying a black bag is just going to make it very boring, very plain. It's not going to give me the butterflies, and when it comes to spending $2,000+ on a bag, you definitely want it to really give you those butterflies. So buying what everybody else tells you to buy, or going with neutrals just because it's the safe option, is something that I have learned does not work for me. The fourth one is a good one, you guys. Do not ask for other people's opinions. These bags, again, are way too much money to care about what somebody else thinks about it. I've made this mistake a couple of times, but one example I can give you guys is my Valentino Roman stud in the brown in the size large. So I was torn between a cool tone baby pink with the studs the same matching color as the leather in the medium size versus the warm tone brown in the large size with the gold studs. I asked lots of people. I couldn't decide. I felt like the brown would be the more practical choice, but I really, really loved the pink one. The brown was larger than any of my other bags. I didn't own a brown bag in my collection. I felt like I had enough color in my collection. And on top of that, I've asked several people that were close to me and knew my style which one I should go for. And almost all of them said that I should go for the brown one. So I went for the brown one. And as much as I tried to make that work in my collection, as much as I tried to remind myself of the reasons why I bought it, it's brown, it's a neutral, it's larger than your other bags, it can hold more than your other bags, it's a little bit edgy, the studs on it gave a little bit of sparkle to it. It just wasn't the cool tone pink one that I wanted, and therefore I didn't use it hardly ever. And when I did use it, I found that it was one of those situations where I was like, you know what, I haven't used that bag in a while, let me use it. There are quite a few occasions that I can think of that are very, very similar, where I asked somebody else what their opinion was. They gave me their opinion, they gave me their thoughts, and I thought to myself, you know what, those are really good points that I didn't think of, and therefore I ended up purchasing the bag that they thought I should purchase instead of the bag that I thought I should purchase, and it almost always ends up being the wrong choice. Number 5 is one of those things that definitely goes into the mistake category, and that is putting a bag on a credit card. You guys, I know everybody says not to do this, but when I first started my luxury channel, and once I hit, I believe it's when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I was so excited to just celebrate that I decided to put a bag on a credit card. And you guys, that was the biggest mistake. When I put a bag on a credit card, I don't get the same joy out of the purchase as when I've actually saved up for it, planned for it, put a little bit of money every paycheck aside for it, did all the work for it, and then go out and purchase it. That is so much more rewarding. I think just in general, when you work really hard for something, it really is more rewarding and more gratifying. So putting something on a credit card not only puts you in debt, who knows how long it's going to take you to pay it off, it puts you in a bad position, and all that just to buy a bag. It's just simply not worth it, and I have learned my lesson. And the last one that I have to share with you guys is really, really important. So listen up, you guys. Don't buy the cheaper version of the bag that you are really, really interested in. What do I mean by that? Let's say you have a dream bag and you are really, really excited about this bag. You love it. Every single time you see somebody wear it, mention it or style it, or see it on YouTube, you can just imagine it into your life. You imagine it working into your wardrobe. You daydream about this bag and you're so excited about it. But another brand has a very similar version, not exactly the same, but similar, and it is half of the price point. Do not go and purchase the one that's half the price point when you've been daydreaming about the one that is more expensive. It just doesn't make sense. You're not going to love it. You're going to end up spending twice as much because you're still going to want that bag that you were chasing after, but you have this other bag now that you could have done without. So you end up selling the other bag, you end up losing money on the other bag, and you end up buying the bag, your dream bag anyways. So you might as well save your money, open up a bank account, you guys, or a separate account or a separate savings account that's specifically for your bags. Put money into it every paycheck, even if that's a little bit of money, even if that's only 20 bucks. Who cares if it takes you 5 years to save up for your dream bag? It's going to be so much more rewarding if you actually save up your money and get that bag that you really, really want. So, in my experience, buying the cheaper version just never works out. As much as I like to talk myself through it and tell myself that this other bag is just as good, if there is a dream bag, and I'm specifically talking about dream bags, those bags that you just can't stop oohing and awing over. Now, if it's a bag that you're just like, this bag is okay and I really like it and I really want it, sometimes you might be able to go for a lesser expensive alternative. But I find that most of the time it just doesn't work out that way. So I recommend saving your pennies and going for the dream bag. Okay, one last thing I just thought about and I want to share it with you guys. And this one is really important as well. So listen up to this one as well. and that is that you belong. You belong. Let me say it again. You belong. You belong in this luxury community. If you have the money for a bag, buy it. You belong. What I mean by that is when I first started luxury shopping, I felt so out of place because I didn't have any luxury. So walking into a luxury store with my contemporary designer bags, it felt like I didn't belong. But I did, because I had the money, I had saved up for it, and I do belong in that space if I have the money to purchase the bag. Now let me give you another scenario. Maybe you don't want to spend $2,000 to $3,000 on a luxury bag, but you really want a luxury bag, and you walk into a store because you want to try on a specific style, and you go ahead and you try it on. You still belong. You belong in that store trying on that bag. Let's say, for instance, you go home, you really, really love that bag and you really, really want it. You don't have to buy it from the luxury store. You can buy it from the resale market for much, much less, and you still belong in this luxury world. Now, I will say, definitely be conscious of your sales associates' time because they do make commission. So if you are in there to just look, let them know that you are in there to just look. But a lot of times they are more than happy to help you out, and you definitely can do that. You can go in store, try it on, buy something pre-loved if you don't want to spend the hefty price point, and you're still going to belong in this luxury community. Now, one other thing that I want to touch on when it comes to belonging is our appearance. I've heard on many occasions that people are too old, too heavy, unattractive, maybe they wear glasses, maybe they're stubby, whatever it may be, whatever we pick ourselves apart with, and they feel like they don't belong in this luxury community. Well, you guys, I'm 5'6", I am mid-size, I'm a size 8'10", and I might have thought that same thing when I was younger. I'm not good enough for luxury. I'm not beautiful. I'm not a supermodel. I'm not super tall. I'm not drop dead gorgeous, whatever it may be. But luxury doesn't have a look. If you love a luxury bag, and again, you have worked hard and you saved your money for a luxury bag or luxury anything, luxury house, luxury car, whatever it may be, you belong in that community, even if you only have one luxury bag. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here, but let me know down in the comments below, have you ever walked into a luxury store and felt like you haven't belonged? Because I know that I'd say about 50% of the time that I walk into a luxury store, I feel like I don't belong.